Well, we're streaming right now.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Thank you both for joining, Kiz and Caedil. I'm going to let you introduce yourselves in just a moment. But thanks for everyone to everyone for joining our third ever stream of Distracted Disorderly plus Reddit friends. I want to thank these two lovely contestants and possibly a third one joining in halfway for jumping in on this. You both answered the call, and so we're gonna try and live stream a fun game. Our channel here. One of the fun things about it is we try and use miniatures for absolutely everything in this game. So we try and recreate that tabletop experience. And as far as I know, none of us are truly professional players like Critical Role, but
Uh,
yeah, well, you might be close. You might be close. But just try and bring the fun to everybody. Another amazing part of this show is the sheer volume of sponsors from Etsy that have become a part of this. I've been using Etsy for some time to paint miniatures. My wife Chloe got me alerted to this, and she's the greatest person in the world. I know I'm very biased, but it's just true. And so she found this, and I'm going to go through and just introduce some of these shops, and they've been kind enough to make some discount codes for our show. So first off, of course, 3D Dwarven Forge. Jake, as always, my hero, one of the first shops I ever shopped with. He's just been constantly providing advice, even on the journeys themselves, all of the campaigns along the way, suggesting how we can make changes here and there, and just really fun to work with folks like Jake. So he's got this code Distracted Disorderly on his shop for 20% off. Next up, Catherine. Catherine has put together this amazing set of essentially this sort of shipwright and all their materials, these two shipwrights. And she's got a code on her store, Rin's Wild Menagerie, and the code is Distracted Disorderly for 10% off there. Uh, let's just keep going down the list. Abraham at AQS Games. I think this one was kind of a stunner for people. The
that's
structures
really
in
cool.
Leilon, or Leilon as the locals call it. They're all you can reassemble them, and you can take off the roofs, as you can see breaking down the fourth wall here with our one of our hometown favorites. His name is Ratty Roger. He's a he turned himself into a rat permanently with a potion, and now he's just like trying different potions to see what'll happen next. So, anyway, they're
It
actually
worked out so well the first time, you know?
yeah, he's just got to keep trying. In fact, actually, yesterday, one of the folks who played, his name was Roger, and he wanted to be a changeling, and so we just started him off as Roger, and he just kept changing into different figurines throughout the whole thing, which I thought was just really creative of him. Now, this
Mhm.
picture you're going to see twice because they're actually two different sets. One of them is like nobles male and nobles female, and I got them from two different stores. And one of them is Alchemy 3D Prints. So Mike is one of those sponsors of our show. He's been really supportive too, and got a code up yesterday mid chat, Disorderly 10 for 10% because we were chatting before, and he didn't have time and then threw one in. So thank goodness we got that in. Skylar at Secret Identity Prints, again, just one of those people who's been really on it. This particular figurine is quite large, and in fact, when I put it on Reddit, which was one of these first like interactions I had on there with this miniature community, I think it's called Miniature Painting. This one got like 230 upvotes. I mean, I'm not that good at social media. I think it just speaks to the quality of these miniatures. So bravo on that one. Oh, I forgot to tell you that's Disorder 15. I like the abbreviation of it. Just straight up Disorder. Um, Irritated Kraken. Oh my god. So I'm really excited to get these. I only have a picture from the store because when it arrives, I'm gonna just be painting these constantly because I have a lot of ideas for how to use them. Distracted Disorderly, 15% off. Thanks, Mikhail, or I think it's Mikhail. Estel at the Print Pyre. Again, here is Ponzi, made his debut on our last episode. Distracted Disorderly, 15% off. We're going to get all kinds of under the sea action with these. Again, that shot again from Brush Foo Studios. And in fact, I'm going to just show you at the beginning of our game one of these this one just arrived yesterday along with a bunch of others. It's like I think it's a dwarf paladin on a ram. It's just
Nice. That's really
yeah.
cool.
I don't know what to say. These people just make me happy. I'm just glad you all are out there doing what you're doing. Good Meads Emporium, man. Like this shark, the hammerhead and the shark rider. I don't know, man. You gotta try that.
All the little
Animini's. Oh,
details are so
which one?
like you on the I mean a lot of these, but the shark one especially caught my eye. There's all of the like um underneath the like coral and stuff and maybe some little yeah, there's like ruins and statues and it's
You
incredible.
you are so right, Caedil. I'm gonna call you Caedil from now on, so I remember first off to pronounce it Caedil. But you are so right. The detail on some of these, especially these two, it's just insane. The level is insane, and I hope to capture it properly with this camera. I'm just flying
Mhm.
around on the table, but yes, yes. Animinis, these are again arriving soon for our underwater adventures, and Peculiar Sawdust. This is an unusual, peculiar one. He not only sells, Andrew sells this like ship, which made its debut yesterday, but he actually sent these stickers to to promote the shop, which I thought was really cool. But what I wasn't expecting, which I really enjoy all these wood cutouts, it's Dice Jail.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
thanks again for that, Andrew, and you're awesome. I just really look forward to using more of this stuff.
Very
Uh,
important.
yeah. So remember to go on Etsy. Remember to sponsor your friends out there. They're just great people. All right, let's finish our advertising portion of this game and get to action. So first, I'm gonna set up the stage physically, which I'm gonna try and do very covertly. I forgot to do it before the started broadcasting. Don't tell anybody. Um,
It's just between you and me
Yeah, that secret is
and
safety.
Sean.
Thank you. I should have introduced myself. My name is Sam. I'm sorry. What are your names outside of the game if you're willing to share?
Yeah. Well, I'm Sean.
Oh, hey, Sean.
I'm Rowan.
Hi, Rowan. Nice to meet you both. One of
Meet
the
you
fun
too.
things here is like I mean I'm in Connecticut by the way. Just like
Mm.
we've got our time zones. Sometimes we're messing around with, but
Mm.
nice to have
It's
some.
Gigi.
Who is?
It's okay. He's here to supervise.
Wait, what's your cat's name, Rowan?
Gigi,
Gigi.
Jiji after the cat from Kiki's Delivery Service.
Mm.
He's,
Oh my God, that's
pardon him,
incredible.
he's very clingy.
That is incredible. Oh, okay, here we go. So I'm going to try and set up the scene here first. We'll open up with a map of Faerun. All right, so let's set the stage. The people of Faerun are varied. They're spread in disparate across the land. They're disparate and spread out across the land. And uh, as you can see on this map, we have a number of Sword Coast towns like Neverwinter, much larger than Leilon. Many of them create trade routes around the Mirror of Dead Men, and they have lately been having a very hard time forging their trade routes by water. And in our last session, we had two adventurers, Ponzi and Roger, in the town of Leilon trying to find and deal with a group of angry pirates who were causing trouble on those trade routes. But they didn't quite find all of the things they were looking for. What we're going to do is open up our story here with two adventurers wandering the streets of Leilon at night. And let me get the game cam up and running. Two of our wandering heroes. One, a large orc infused creature, stealthily yet mightily
Mm.
creeping through the evening air. It's cooled down from the hot temperatures that have set in over many hours of sun baking into the streets. And as he looks around, and I forgive me for the miniatures for these two have not yet arrived, so we're winging it. um, a small creature goes scurrying around his waist past him. And they do nothing. She heads towards a door, and he feels his pocket get a little bit lighter. And as he's looking down, he notices a satchel of coins is now missing, and she enters the door of a tavern.
Son of a bitch. All right. This fucking shit again. I thought it was better than this. All right, I'm gonna go follow her in. This
All
little
right.
creature.
All right. We follow her in, and we arrive at a tavern that is populated with several gnomes. The back table having a pint, an irate barkeep, and you can't quite see the rest of the patrons. So you are, Kiz has walked in and is looking around for whoever it might have been that took his gold.
Okay. Would I have caught any defining features of this little thieving creature before they came in?
Take our first roll of the night. Roll a perception check for me,
You
please.
got this. I believe in you.
I've got a +1, so I might not have this. Let's see. I rolled a 12.
Okay. You could see a faint glimmer of shining hair with purple ears, purplish pink ears springing from the sides of her hair. You caught that it looked like a small feminine creature, and you saw the edge of what looked like a musical instrument.
Okay. So I've got some kind of bard that I'm after, maybe. Uh, I'll, on my way in, I'll try to sneakily as I can, as a 6'3" half orc, uh, kind of take a glance at the patrons while I make my way over to the bar and order myself a nice, cool beer.
Excellent. So you're glancing around, and are you trying to kind of be sneaky about what you're looking into without catching anyone's attention?
Yeah, yeah, I'm trying to be sneaky about it and, hopefully not looking too not too like mean girls about it when you're in the back and you're just like, I'm not here.
Can you roll a stealth check for me, please?
I certainly can.
Thank you so much, Kiz.
All right, I rolled an 18.
Very cool. Uh, Kiz smoothly passes by these gnomes who are caught in their own conversation. He looks to the back of the room and he sees those purple ears sticking up, scurrying past a table, sort of looking around for a place to sit. And Kiz arrives at the bar, and the bartender says, "All right, what do you want?" She's got a very
I
gruff voice.
think I'll have 2 mugs of beer, your finest, for me and a lady friend of mine.
Ah, 2 mugs of beer, you say? And she pulls up a mug and says, "Does this count as one, or is she able to put one of these away?"
I think she can put one of them away.
All right, and she puts them down on the table in front of you and says, "Well, that'll be 5 silver pieces."
All right, I'll fish out the silver and hand it out.
Well, your satchel
Or-
is gone, so you
Oh
look
yeah, my
down
sword.
and you feel for it.
Oh, it's all mine. Okay, okay, okay.
As you're searching your pocket, you start to hear an instrument tuning, ding, 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 coming from the back of the tavern.
Mhm.
And our
Are we
tiefling, our tiefling appears to be preparing for a performance.
okay? Are we moving to her perspective now?
I presume so. I don't know what you both want to do.
Yeah, so I'll be tuning probably my veal and if I've just come into town and walked into this place, um I'm considering I'm looking around, I'm getting a sense for the atmosphere, kind of gauging what sort of song would best um, advertise my skills in the hopes of striking up a deal for room and board in exchange for the business that I can draw with
Mm,
uh, my songs and stories,
excellent.
livening the place up a bit.
Excellent. I like it. Can you please roll an insight check to see
Okay,
what you read as the hearts of the people around you?
gotta start with a Vex die. Okay, 13.
Mm. So you notice several different patrons. First off, this half ogre, this stealthy half ogre, and he seems to be, blending in with the crowd. You see the kind of irate bartender, these gnomes who are, concerned with their own conversation. You see a rowdy group. Hold on a second. A pretty rowdy group, a dwarf and a goblin, both very satisfied with their ale, and finally a monk who is studying feverishly a text book in front of him. You can't quite tell, but it's a very eclectic group, and you think that they're ready for some music with energy. You can feel that they're buzzing. They're just waiting
Mhm.
for someone to link it all together.
All right. In that case, I'm going to, once I feel my instrument has been probably needs to be wiped down and stuff, make just check it all over, make sure that it hasn't sustained any damage on the road and that it's clean and ready to go. And then I will just abruptly launch into a um, rowdy, raucous, like drinking song.
Excellent, excellent. Please go ahead and roll a performance check. And
Mhm.
I know you've got some modifiers for this one.
I do. Unfortunately, that's only a 12.
Mm, okay, okay. So you start singing, and it's no, nay, never, dun, 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 and it seems like people don't know the lyrics to the Wild Rover, so they're kind of, and there's a couple in the back who are getting really rowdy. You see, Kiz is at the front, and the barkeep is now looking at you, has forgotten that he owes any silver, and sort of passed the mugs on to him.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, Kiz isn't going to remind her about it, and just kind of nod his thanks and take a beer over to a table, I guess, just across from our musical tiefling, kind of, nodding towards her song, and also in that same motion, offering that mug of beer if she'd have it, setting it down at his table as he takes a seat. And, uh, I would say that he's probably been in his fair share of taverns across the land and probably knows well enough to sing along, even. Maybe add an extra voice to the song.
So Kiz starts singing along with this song, and our bard Caedil has taken note.
Yeah, I meet his eyes directly. Don't like shy away from it. Don't do any like, oh no. Just yeah, you. I see you. Okay. Interesting. Uh, and I'm going to finish my song and I'll step over and slide the cup towards me, but I stay standing. I'm kind of leaning on the table. I pick it up and sort of swish it around a little. Um, I don't take a drink yet, and I just say, looking for something?
Oh well, someone actually. Uh, it's crazy. They kind of look a bit like you. Uh, well, I never thought that someone like you could sing so well, or at the very least, you know, that you could just steal a room like that. It was quite the
Hmm.
performance.
All right, all right. Look, and I'll take the pouch and open it and start kind of examining its contents. You can have this back once I find find the. Are you fucking kidding? Okay, I'm gonna have some strong words, but I'm sorry, this is a misunderstanding.
I'm sure it is. Well,
I I was told by a passerby that there had been some thefts in the area, and they had discovered a piece of jewelry that had been passed down in their family, and seen a stranger to town who looked quite a bit like you, um, right after discovering that it was missing. So I think I've been lied to. I'm not sure if it was just for a bit of mischief or if they were hoping that I would pass along the whole purse to them, but you may have this back. And I hand it over.
I'll take it with a nod. Thank you. I assure you, I would never do something as dastardly as that. I smile, teeth gleaming in the torchlight, as I pocket my gold pouch, keeping it a bit more secure to me this time around than before. Before offering my mug and just saying, "Well, my name's Kizziar, and you?
Fatal.
Hmm. Pleasure to meet you."
You as
Now,
well.
who were these people that told you about this strange thief in the night?
Just some townsperson, um, male, a teenager. I think it was just some silly scheme he thought up on the spot. But
Hmm, I
I
see.
had paused to ask for directions, and I think he saw two strangers to town and decided it was an opportunity.
I imagine he gave you a place to meet with him after you stole from me.
He did. Uh, I'm planning simply to not show up, or perhaps I'll leave a note with some friendly advice.
I find that friendly advice is best delivered in person, and I'd like to meet this individual. You know, if you would allow it.
Well, that depends. How friendly do you intend your advice to be? Because while this was certainly gauche of him, he is a dumb kid, and I'm not so sure I necessarily want to go introducing him to a stranger who might be holding a grudge.
A grudge? No, 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 no. You've got me all wrong. I just want to educate him on, the certain things like manners. It's okay to be a dumb kid, but, dumb kids have to learn that there are consequences to their actions. But no, believe me, harming children is not part of my job description.
Can you roll a deception check, please?
Certainly. Ooh, that's a six.
Caedil looks and isn't quite sure what you meant by that last comment, but she's not entirely certain about what the level of humor was in it.
Hmm. Well, I'll tell you what. I will allow you to come with me on the understanding that if you try to do anything more untoward than scare this dumb kid, I'll do something untoward to you.
Well, I like to think that we're all civil people here. I'll drink to that and then raise a
All right.
mug to knock against hers before taking a drink.
Excellent.
Uh, I'm going to examine mine first, I'm keep playing it very casually, just, glancing around the room and then into my cup and swishing it around a bit and lifting it towards my face, but I'm like taking a smell before. Do I feel like there's anything off about it?
Yeah, can you roll a nature check? Actually, a medicine check would be better.
Okay. 14.
Okay, so you can smell the grog, and aside from the fact that the mug hasn't been washed very well, the grog itself seems to be fine. You're not entirely sure if antibacterial substances have been introduced to Leilon, but you know that the traveler next to you has not done anything to alter the state of the uh, drink.
Honestly, I've probably had worse, so I'll take a sip.
So the two of you are enjoying some ale, and the barkeep announces that it's last call, and neither of you have arranged for anywhere to stay at this point. Now, this inn does have lodging, um,
Mm.
but essentially, Magdalena is her name. She is calling for everyone to finish their drinks and get out, or get upstairs.
Mhm. I will saunter over to the bar and lean against it. Hi, I was thinking, this seems like a pretty small, out of the way sort of town. I don't imagine you get much entertainment here. I would be happy to draw more patrons to your fine establishment, with some song and storytelling. If you could provide me with a roof over my head and maybe a meal or two during my stay, or a discount, whatever works for you.
Now, you should both know that I forget accents for everyone and everything I do in this game. So whatever I say
I don't even
next,
bother to try.
it's Magdalena. I promise you. All right, so you're gonna give a performance, you say? Well, why don't you go ahead and give it a shot?
Okay.
We'll try and get some more tips out of people on their way out.
Yeah, I will turn back towards the tavern at large and begin playing another song.
All right, give us a
This one,
performance. Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, this is more of a chill, low-key, gentle sort of just a nice melody, something to send them on their way with a pleasant atmosphere about them.
Hmm. So a little
Ooh.
like closing time, or less intense than closing time.
Um, Probably less intense, just like it's not quite a lullaby, but it's just like a nice bit of background music, you know.
Ah, I see.
Uh, so performance, that is a 19.
Oh, wow. So the dulcet tones reverberate through the tavern. The lights are flickering. The mood is set. The gnomes and the rowdy group at the back all start filing out, and they're putting silver pieces on the I'm sorry, on the bar countertop, and thanking you. Wow, that's some performance. Oh goodness, and they're all stopping by this. They've never seen a performer like you come through their town. If we weren't so drunk, we'd buy your album. And they don't know what an album is. It doesn't exist yet, but they know. They know they should. And Magdalena looks at the pile of silver in front of her and says, "Hey, why don't I give you both a room tonight? What do you say?"
I think that would be perfectly lovely. Thank you so much.
And she like cleans the silver off the table. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Kids, I don't know what your feelings are on this.
So I'll while the last two patrons are walking out talking about albums and Walkmans and CD players and debating on that.
Questions are.
They're out of their minds. Yeah.
Kiz will also kind of saunter his way up to the back up to the bar, and in his own way, just kind of slips a gold piece out from his sack and places it on the table and say, less of a tip, more just me reserving a room, unless she said a room for both of them to Caedil.
Well,
Oh yeah.
yeah, actually, why don't you roll a history check? Let me think about this. Did you hear her what she said? Why don't you both roll a history check?
All right. I got
Eight.
an 11.
And what'd you get, Sadel?
8.
Okay, so neither of you can really remember what she just said, but she gladly takes the gold piece off the counter. So, wow, that's really generous of you. Thank you. And and she starts cleaning up. And you notice that there's still one more person at the back of the tavern, and she kind of shouts, "If you linger here again tonight, I swear I'm gonna take you to that church of yours." And he's like, "You don't understand. You don't understand." And she says, "You just had too much to drink." And he starts coming forward. He says, "Too much to drink, too much to drink." And he kind of stumbles a little bit. "You don't even know the half of what's going on here."
What is going on? Why don't you explain it to me?
So our tiefling bard is going to turn around. Kiz, what are you going to do in relation to this impending conversation?
Kiz is going to just kind of lean an arm up against the bar and look back between the tiefling and the monk and kind of see how things play out for the time being.
So Sadal approaches this monk who is stumbling down the central aisle between the tables, gripping on to the chairs that he can find. Let's see if I can just focus a little bit on this. There we go. Oh, sort of. Hold on, I really like to just get him in focus. And
Yeah. If he stumbles near me, I'm gonna like
yeah.
catch his arm and steady him.
Okay. So you catch his arm, and he's starting to fall over, and he said, "They won't listen. They won't listen. I, I don't know how to tell them."
Okay, well, why don't you just sit down for a moment and tell me?
So he sits down and he starts sort of almost falling over in his chair, and then springs forward, and he's like, "Yeah, I just need one more." And Magdalena says, "Absolutely not." And he's like,
Well,
I can't.
you don't want it to get too fuzzy. I need to know what's going on.
It's midnight at the and he starts like playing with his head. It's midnight at the church grounds. So they change. They change. I'm telling you. And
I'm
Magdalena,
gonna
yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if this would necessarily help for a an issue of drunkenness, but let's just give it a shot and see. I'm gonna lean forward and say, "Don't worry, everything's going to be all right." And I wrap a bit of magic around my words and I cast Healing Word on him.
Ah, very nice. Very nice. Um, is there any role for that, or it just
Um,
happens? I can't remember.
it just happens. It's 1d4 plus 4 HP, so
Oh, nice. Okay. So this
six.
reassuring voice enters the monk's ear, and almost like a windshield wiper sort of takes his drunkenness and pushes it off to the side, and he becomes suddenly more coherent. Every night at midnight, the bodies behind the church, they start changing. And Magdalena says, "You come in here every night and you talk about this every night." And he says, "Well, you haven't been out there." And she goes, "Why would I go to the graveyard in the middle of the night? I'm doing my job here. I work the night shift." He goes, "Haven't you ever wondered why I'm here? I don't want to be there."
So when you say bodies, do you mean the ones that are buried in the ground, or
So he kind of looks and he gets a little glassy eyed. I mean, all of them.
what other bodies are there behind the church?
I don't know where they came from. They almost materialize out from behind the crypts, and then they call to the ground, and it starts moving.
Okay.
So you're talking about ghosts.
If they're
Or
ghosts,
something.
they're very physical.
Okay. Well, um, as I see it, either you are right and this is something real that is happening and it sounds very dangerous, or our lovely barkeep is right and you are something is influencing your perception, in which case that also seems like something that deserves uh further attention. So I can't speak for my handsome new acquaintance here, but I would be happy to accompany you to your chapel and see what's happening.
Wow, that is a very generous offer. I mean, I don't even know what to say. But are you alone going to be able to do anything about this? I fear that there may be powers at play here that are bigger than any of us.
Oh, she won't be alone. Because I'm pushing off from the counter and kind of placing a hand on uh, Caedil's shoulder. I do need her to help me settle a dispute after all.
And the monk looks to you both and says, "Well, you both do look pretty tough. Uh, you know, I think I think it's worth a shot. Why don't we do this? Meet me tomorrow night at behind the church, and we'll walk through the crypt together, and I'll show you exactly what I mean."
All right.
Sounds like a deal.
Okay, and with that, uh, the monk starts stumbling out into the street, and Magdalena says, "Oh, you don't even know what you just signed up for. He's just gonna end up back here." And she starts closing up and says, "The rooms are up there on the third floor."
Well, hopefully, if nothing else, we can at least do something to help set his mind at ease, and perhaps he will darken your doorway a little less frequently, or at least buy less booze and more food.
Well, to be fair, he he does come loaded with quite a bit of gold. I hear that in that church they've got a decent budget. And with that, she kind of closes up her shop. She's just beat. This is not her favorite time of night is cleaning up, so she sort of leaves stuff on the counter. That's where the odor that you've been smelling comes from. It's
Mm.
not really a well kept bar, but in any event, she does sort
I'm
of point to the stairs. Yeah.
I'm just gonna, while her back is turned, just prestidigitate and clean up a little of the worst of it because that's bothering me a little.
so so this almost like dust goes over the counter and starts doing a wax on wax off motion, and there's a little bit of sparkle that happens in the middle of this long wooden damp gross countertop, but that one part is very very clean now, and then the dust poofs away.
Well, I'll come back and work on this once we're done with. So, yeah, snot-nosed kid, right? Okay. I imagine this, whoever made this oh so clever plan, probably would not have told me to meet him very far away or in anywhere like all of that secluded. It's probably just like, hey, we're on the other side of the inn or something. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'll take his to wherever the meeting spot is and uh wait for him to show up.
All right. So the two of you kind of exit the bar and go around to the back corner where you think he's going to meet you. Let me sort of just rearrange this, and I'm going to grab, while it isn't painted, I do have the perfect snot nosed kid miniature. Just give me 1 second. I love this improv, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, now I need a reason for um neutral good Caedil to have like randomly picked somebody's pocket. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so now you have to protect some snot-nosed kid from chaotic neutral Kizziar.
Oh, this is going to get interesting. Hold on. Where is this? Ah,
What's a little PvP between friends?
so the two of you are waiting by the tavern entrance,
Hmm.
and you hear a voice say, Sadel, Sadel.
Yeah, I'm here.
And he says, go around the corner.
I go around the corner.
Do
Okay.
I hear this?
You do. Now, can I have you both roll a stealth check, please?
Hmm.
Sure. Wow. All right. That's a natural one for an
Oh
8.
no. I got a 12.
Okay. So the two of you are walking around, and you're kind of like clanging, and especially Kiz, it's very unusual for him because he's so smooth in this fluid way about walking, and for some reason just steps in a puddle, goes, oh god, and starts wiping his foot.
To be
and
fair, I feel like he doesn't care that much this time around.
Hmm.
and this kid says, whoa, 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 who are you bringing with you?
I'm going to march right over him and grab him by the ear.
Okay, can you roll an athletics check?
Oh boy. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Uh, um, that is a 14.
Okay, so this young person tries to get out of this tiefling's grasp, and they're both kind of at the same height. And Sadel just reaches out and grabs his collar as he's trying to flee, and pulls him around the corner of the tavern, back, and puts him face to
Shove him
face.
back against the wall.
Yeah, exactly. and he's face to face with both Caedil and Fizz. Sorry, Kiz. I was thinking
That
of
wasn't
League of
funny.
Legends. Yeah.
Hmm,
Yeah.
hmm. Yeah, I get in his face a little bit. Kind of leaning in as menacingly as I can, all like 5'4" of me, and I'm just like, that wasn't funny. You almost got me in trouble. It's a good thing that I figured out what you were up to before things had a chance to get ugly, especially in a room full of people who could have gotten caught up in it.
And he
What
goes,
do you have to say for yourself?
"Oh, I didn't, I didn't really know what was gonna happen. I just thought we were gonna do what we always do, right? We just grab a few coins and we just, you know, get some candy or something."
Are you seriously trying to take me down with you right now?
And Kiz
I
starts
just
walking.
walked into town for the first time.
And can you roll an intimidation check, please?
Literally anyone in the tavern can verify that.
Uh, for me to roll an intimidation.
Well, first we'll do Sadal as she's
Okay,
trying to scold this young man.
and we've got Kiz just mean mugging right now off to the side.
Oh yeah,
That's an
he's sort of
11.
like looking like, wait till I have a turn.
Yeah, all 5'4" of Sadal has a +5 to intimidation, but that's an 11.
An 11. Okay, so he kind of says, "Hey, you know what? Like, get off my back. I don't even know you."
All right. So I ended up rolling a 16.
All right, so Kiz gets really sort of towers over this young child, and the child looks up at Kiz, and Kiz looks down at the child.
What's your name, John?
And he starts, playing with his slingshot. Uh, uh, D- it's David. It's David.
Hmm. Okay, David.
Oh my God.
So you mean to tell me that you go around convincing strangers to steal from another just so you can buy candy all by yourself?
Well, what do you mean all by myself?
Do you have other friends that do the same things to newcomers? Or is this just a scheme that you've come up for all on your own? No one put you up to it? No one to come bring all these shiny coins back to you at the end of the day?
And as you're saying that, David's like, no, no, nobody else, nobody else.
Do I
And what?
do I believe a word out of his? Oh, okay, I see. Never mind.
And they all start kind of surrounding you and zoom out a little bit. And David says, "Well, and the kids sort of look up at you, and you're looking at them, and they're looking at you, and you realize you're kind of surrounded by this small group of this rowdy group of children who they look pretty desperate, but they also look kind of conniving."
Mhm. Oh, now I've done it.
It's a bit
Okay.
too cold for all you kids to be out here on your own, don't you think? And I would say that that is I guess, thieves' cant way of asking, do they work for anybody?
Um, well, they feel as though they kind of have their numbers on you now, so they say, "Well, who really wants to know? And where did you two come from anyway? You're clearly not from Leilon."
Where where I come from isn't nearly as important as what I can do right now if you don't answer my question.
um, okay, so one of them sort of starts to, you know, cry a little bit and is like walking away from the others, and uh, David's like, "Oh, see, now you've done it." And they all start kind of backing away. They all start backing away. they realize they are absolutely no match for the two of you, and
Mhm.
this crying child says, "Well, Joshua made us do it."
Hmm.
Oh my God.
And David
Okay.
says, "It wasn't Joshua." And she goes, "Yeah, it was." And he goes, "You're not supposed to say that."
Okay. Do I get the sense that Joshua is actually going to be someone worth our time, or are they just going to keep passing us along through a string of like older kids until we reach like some shitbag 15-year-old who's like trying to get a gang of children together to steal for him?
Oh man, I love this little plot that's developed. Why don't you roll? Let me think. What's a good one to roll here? Why don't
Also,
you? Yeah,
I would just like to state for the record that while Kiz was taking over, talking to them and trying to get them to um, reveal whether or not there's some, part of some bigger, scarier organization. Sadal's just been digging through her coin purse, like, okay, and that's for tomorrow. But oh God, okay, like just doing the math on how much she can um afford to give these kids because like they do look hungry, right?
yeah. I mean, they certainly are presenting themselves as looking pretty hungry.
Hmm.
You get the sense they are. Now, my
Do I
question was about
believe them?
are they going to keep passing the buck?
Yeah.
Are you going to ask them, or are you trying to gauge it just like on your own?
I'm trying to gauge based on that little interaction of like, Joshua made us do it. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. You're not supposed to say that. Like,
Yeah,
is Joshua real, um, remotely important, or is this just like
yeah,
them trying to redirect attention or another snot-nosed kid who put them up to this?
yeah. Why don't you go ahead and roll an insight check?
Okay. Ooh. That's a 19.
Very good. Okay, awesome. So you're listening to this, and you can tell this is really just child's play. They're passing it around and trying to get you riled up. And you could probably spend a year figuring out who really got them to take a gold piece from every passerby.
Mhm. All right, that's enough. Look, you actually need this money, or are you just random village kids who got together and put together what you think is a clever scheme? Like, are you actually just going to buy candy with this, or do you need help?
So they roll in that one. So we uh we don't really need the gold. It's just a
Like,
thrill
get the
for us.
fuck out of here.
It's so boring. And then you see like
Oh my
this
God.
older this female figure come in and say, "Children, children, are you bothering people in the middle of the night again?" And they start like scurrying off. And it's like, "No,
Okay,
ma'am,
no,
no,
hold
ma'am."
on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Get back here. I want to talk to you.
And she says, "I don't think we're gonna get them back tonight." And they just start running around. And as how much are you interested in keeping David where he is?
Oh, I'll keep David where he is for sure.
Okay, can you roll a dexterity check, please? I just like to do
Don't mind if
checks.
I do. Oh no, that's a 1.
So you reach for David. He kind of just side moves to his side. You fall a little bit, and he is off into the darkness.
Okay,
And
somebody better. I'm turning to the woman now, and I'm like, oh, God. Okay, somebody better tell these kids that with the kinds of people who wander around, especially like we're on the road to Neverwinter, there's some, s- there's every chance that somebody a lot more powerful and a lot less kind than us could wander through. And if they piss them off, it would be safer to entertain themselves by throwing rocks at each other.
well, of course, she says. And I should introduce myself. My name is Sister Gariel. I'm so sorry I didn't. Uh, they run out from the churchyard in the middle of the night. They are orphans. They stay with me. I take care of them, but sometimes at night they slip out, and God willing, they come back the next day.
Out the church, huh?
Interesting. Um, we met your associate inside, uh, the one who's been having trouble with the graveyard in the back of the church at night.
Oh
He says he
yes,
sees ghosts.
oh yes. That's brother Adrian. He's been a bit of a worry lately. And she kind of stops and looks at the ground for a bit, and she says, when I first started working with him, he seemed so nice, so proper, and well, lately he's been seeing things. I don't really know what to make of it.
Hmm.
And you've seen nothing. It seems like you're usually up in the later hours of the night. No strange things going on behind the church?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm normally out and about looking for these ruffians, and she like hears them scampering off into the distance. Oh, there they go. Well, I will tell you if I do see anything. And she starts like sternly walking back, children, children, and just sort of marches off into the night.
Hmm.
Did she seem earnest in the answer that she gave us?
Was she holding anything back? Did it seem like?
Yeah, would you please both roll an insight check?
Mm,
Oh, that's a real good one.
I'm glad that it is because I rolled a 4.
We're getting the bad rolls out of the way now.
Yeah, exactly.
22.
There you go. Okay, so Kiz just kind of scratches his head. He's looking off into space, like, I wonder if they still have any food open. Well, yeah, Sadel, really looks as Sister Gariel walks away, and she can tell that Sister Gariel has almost been willing, turning a blind eye to what's been happening at the church. She's been feeling more distant, as she mentioned, from brother Adrian, and so she's
Hmm.
mostly left him to his own devices. You can tell that she's lost a lot of faith in him, but that she
Hmm.
also is trying to keep her distance from whatever he's doing with the church.
Mm. So she maybe suspects that he is doing something to cause this to happen and doesn't want to be involved, or is just like, oh, that's really creepy. Nope.
She gives off the impression that he used to be more diligent about like what was going on at the church, and he's started to let things go, and now he's not as reliable. He's not as with it as he used to be.
So it's more an issue of distrust in him. So she doesn't seem to believe what's going on, but in her mind the issue is more him than what he's saying.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. She appears to have no clue whether it's true or not, because she honestly is too busy with these kids to
Okay.
stay in one place.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
They're clearly a handful. Um, all right. That's good to know. I think in that case, I'm just going to sigh and turn to Kiz. Well, I think I've had enough bullshit for one night. I'm gonna tidy up the bar a little and then go to bed.
Well, you have fun tidying up the bar. I think I'll be going straight to sleep.
Mm.
So
And yeah, I'll tomorrow night behind the church.
so the two of you are separating for a moment, and uh, you know Kiz has gone all the way up to the rooms, which we'll get to momentarily up there, and Sadel is at the bar cleaning. is there anything else you'd like to do here?
No, I'm just gonna um get the neat freak out of my system and then maybe put together a start putting together a set list for tomorrow in my head and go up to go up to my room.
Excellent. Okay, so our two heroes end up taking a long rest up at the top of the apparently not very stable tavern. This is not a peculiar sawdust creation. Maybe that's why it's not as good. Um, anyway, sorry, Andrew. I had to make a plug in the middle like that. So they're taking a long rest, and they start to hear in the middle of the night just rattling. Not in the room, outside, down the street. They hear rattling.
Hmm.
His eyes kind of shoot open. He's like, "Fuck that, man!" Kind of like leans up towards the window, see if he can get an eye on what's kind of making that noise out there.
Yeah, same. Siddle's just like, oh, what now? And goes to look out the window, see what she can see.
Can you both roll a perception check?
Yeah, 10.
And
Wow. You both look out your respective windows, and all you can see in the darkness is sort of like shuffling forms behind the trees. Uh, there, there's nothing more that you can really distinguish about them. You just can tell there are definitely forms out there.
Mm. And it doesn't seem like there's much more commotion, no screaming, no sounds of people running this way or that.
There's no sounds of people running, no screaming. They do not appear to be heading towards you. They're just shuffling through the trees.
Then that doesn't look like my problem, and I'm going to get back to bed because I value my rest.
yeah, I think Sadal's going to stay up a little bit longer, just like watching and making sure, like looking around a little more, making sure there's nobody else out and about that could get hurt if they encounter whatever this is, and that they're just like slowly dragging themselves through the brush and probably not too big of an immediate threat right now. And then if things seem relatively chill, considering that there's likely corpses just chilling in the woods, she's also gonna go back to sleep and deal with it tomorrow.
Excellent, excellent. So, with Kiz asleep, um, and Sadal's looking out the windows, no screams, nobody she can perceive as needing help. She also goes to sleep, and they both rest, and a new day springs upon them. The sun is shining bright through the window. They're at the top of the tavern, and respectively are in the rooms next to each other.
Got my one spell slot back. Woohoo.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little less annoyed about the fact that a child managed to convince that bard to steal from me.
I'm
I'll be
still a little embarrassed that I didn't see through it, but we're just gonna move along. It's not important. It's fine.
So I presume you both are going to descend down to the lobby of the main tavern in the inn.
Mhm.
yes.
Okay.
Sadal can go first.
Oh, okay. Sadal goes first. She sees. Oh, there she is. Magdalena is at her bar, and she looks at the countertop and says, "Oh my gosh, it's just sparkling clean. How did you clean?"
Maybe it was those ghosts the preacher was talking about.
Wow, they're pretty great. I hope they stay forever. They can come here anytime. And Kiz descends down the stairs as well. And Magdalena says, "Well, I presume you want breakfast. Here, you can take these sandwiches to go if you want."
Don't mind if I do. He's gonna pick one up, give her a nod, and I guess toss the other to Sadel. I guess unless are they packaged to be tossed?
Well, they are packaged to be tossed, but
All
why
right.
don't
Yep.
you why don't you roll an
Nope.
acrobatics check?
All
First,
right.
Kiz,
Well,
roll the acrobatics check. Yeah.
it's a 9.
Okay, so you take
Hopefully, sandwich throwing is not a high DC.
you you take this parchment wrapped sandwich. It looks beautiful when you first have it, and you kind of crush your hand a little too much into it and throw it like a baseball. And Sadel manages to catch it, but she can feel there's like a little drip and there's some
Mm.
liquid that comes out of it, and it's sort of a ball. Um, Still smells good.
I'm not picky.
Excellent. I'm glad you're not. So, the two of you are ready to enter town. I would presume.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would benefit us to ask around and see if anybody else has noticed anything spooky going on.
Excellent. Okay. I need a second to reset our scene here,
Okay.
Hmm.
but in that time, feel free to discuss amongst yourselves as you wander the streets. Here we go. Let's put this one down.
Yeah. So is Sadel the type to just kind of like run up to every stall and be like, "Ooh, that looks nice. Ooh, what's this? Like, ooh, piece of candy."
Not so much that. She is the type to want to collect uh, gossip, local news, local history, um, info about any flora or fauna that might be um, exclusive to the area. She thirsts for knowledge.
That's fair. Yeah, I'd say that his is also thirsting for knowledge, but he's looking to get it from the seedier looking individuals. Generally speaking, if there's someone hanging out in an alleyway, he's probably going over to talk to them, kind of probing them with some thieves' can't, see if they, know of any kind of jobs in the area that are open for thieving, murdering, intimidation, the usual.
Hmm.
Uh, kind of find out what kind of rumors are going on, who's moving what where, and who's got a nice big emerald gem in their living room that doesn't need to be there
Hmm.
come tomorrow.
Uh, Probably, honestly, the first thing that Sadal starts asking around about is whether there's a library in town.
Hmm. Does she, I mean, read a lot? And is it like for educational purposes, like, or is she just looking for a good like romance novel?
Yes,
So both.
very much both. You know, fact or fiction, all books are good books,
Mm.
even if they're bad books, because then you can at least make fun of them.
Mm.
All right. Here we go. So our two adventurers wander out of the tavern, and they find themselves in the streets of Leilon, behind the town square. They can see a number of people milling about. They notice that the town, which is usually pretty, is regarded as being a fairly poor town, has started to industrialize quickly. There are metal beams holding up buildings where only wood used to be available. There appear to be some mechanical inventions and creations that are, forming. They can see through the windows. There are gnomes who are bringing in raw materials, and there's smoke coming out of the chimneys, and they appear to be forging all kinds of materials into usable objects that wouldn't have been accessible by the townsfolk traditionally. Um, and you're on a street that's adjacent to the main street that has the town square and the large spire that characterizes Leilon's city center.
Hmm. All right. I will find somebody who's just hanging out and chilling, or who looks like they won't be bothered too much if I chat with them while they're working.
Okay, so I'm gonna move Caedil forward, and she's gonna observe. There are a few different folks that she can see in her immediate vicinity. Several of them appear to be kind of milling about um, with supplies on their backs. Some of them are more like royal and they're almost practicing their ballet. Some are, developing sort of a business relationship with other folks in town other folks who are not from town. And she can also see like a scientist. She can see a gnome who may be a shop owner. There are quite a variety of people to go and talk with.
Okay. What kind of shop does the gnome seem to be propri proprieting?
So the gnome is standing at the doorway of a shop that, ooh, its roof is a little off. That's not a good sign for how good he is. Um, he appears to be at the entryway to a 2-story shop. Maybe there's a residence up top or a workshop. Who knows? But there are loud sawing noises coming from within the shop,
Mhm.
and you start to see like sparks, and you can see hands inside fashioning something out of metal.
Okay. I'm gonna go and just kind of lean casually against the door frame, give him a light smile. These are some expensive advancements for such a cozy town. Did somebody strike it big recently, discovering a new natural resource nearby or something?
Well, that's what we hear happened, but who really
Hmm.
knows? And the gnome, he's very industrially dressed. He's got a welding uniform. He's got a hard hat. He's got dirt all and soot all over him. He says, "All I know is when I was back in Neverwinter, I could hardly find business, but now I've come down here and set up shop. There seems to be something going on every day."
Hmm. How recent is this development?
Oh, I'd say about maybe 2 months, 3 months. It's not been very long, but you see something new going up every day, and you can kind of hear a beam, going, "Rrrr," and little hands, going ding, 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 ding. Yeah, there's another one going up right now.
Very recent indeed. Hmm. I don't suppose there's a library in town.
Library. Well, I guess the school in next to the. Well, no, I guess these people don't really read very much. I brought my own books. Um, well, I don't know. Maybe ask around. Maybe there's somewhere. There must be something. I mean, they've got students at that church, right? Or orphans or something.
Okay. That's a fair point. Thank you.
Sure. And he just goes back inside and he's kind of tending to his own. No, 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 put it on the left. No, oh, darn it.
Mm, okay, and Kiz will be keeping an eye out for, I guess, some of the seedier individuals around him. If there's anyone he might feel he's able to pry some information on about valuables in town.
Hmm. Can you roll a. Please roll a perception check? Yeah, perception check.
It's not feeling very perceptive today. I rolled a 10.
All right. You know that the seediest individuals hang out in alleyways. So there are a couple of alleyways between these establishments and residences, but you can't see anything definitive about them.
Let's, well, you can't really check from outside, so I guess you'll take a walk down the alley between the workshop and the building to its right, our left.
Okay, so he is going to start crossing the street and change the camera over here. He is going to kind of disappear into the alleyway. The party is split. So it's gonna be over there in the alleyway for a second. So Caedil does not notice this.
I'm so sneaky.
Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah, I guess you could roll a stealth check. Why don't you go for it? I want to see some high rolls. I want to see some high rolls.
All right, the guy this plus seven's got to be worth something at some
Yeah,
point.
right.
There we go. It's a 22.
There.
Hey,
All right. All right. Kiz and he's restored his confidence since his last blunders and kind of pumped himself up. I can do this. I can do this. And almost like a shadow, weaves between the townsfolk who are walking by. He cartwheels around a person with a satchel on his back or a basket full of lumber and disappears into the alleyway.
he was definitely barely trying before.
It wasn't important then. Now he's got a plan.
There's business. There's business to attend to.
All right. So, am I finding any near do wells in this alleyway?
So we're going to cut to say we're going to cut to Kiz in a second. So Sadal is
Hmm.
standing in this town square. She does not realize she is without her adventure, her party, the rest of her party. I don't know what to say. Yeah, teammate.
Yeah. Um, okay. I'm gonna ask around a little more about the library, see if somebody who's been here longer might have a better idea. And also just try and catch up on the local rumor mill gossip. Ask a few questions about history, about, all of this new industry that's suddenly popping up everywhere. How exciting. Um,
So you want to look around for like someone who really knows like the town gossip or like knows the town
I want the lay
character.
of the land.
Yeah, exactly. So you look around. A lot of the folks who are just caring about their business are clearing out, and you see this very poised ballerina is still spinning in the middle of the square, and she's really like in the zone. And you still see this businesswoman who is like quite well dressed, looking for patrons. Looking for partners in ventures. They're both right in front of you. And I suppose the businesswoman is decided that she is done looking at all the people carrying around packages and turns to you and says, "Oh, I see. We have another friend from out of town."
Indeed.
I'm going to move the ballerina out of the way. And where might you be coming from, my dear?
Oh, some way away. Uh,
North, south, east, west? Hot,
East.
cold? East, you say? That's tantalizing. And what trade brings you here?
Entertainment.
Sorry, these
I
barbers are. Yeah.
I'll kind of pull my little lyre out and just strum my fingers along the strings with a smile.
Oh, what a lovely tune, she says to herself. And, oh, well, you're a performer, so you must be interested in the entertainment industry, no?
Certainly.
Well, our company has certainly facilitated quite a bit of travel for artists, musicians, sculptors, you name it. And a town such as this that's growing so quickly will surely need someone to fill their concert venues.
I would imagine so. It's certainly a good way to make connections.
Indeed, it is. Now, how long are you staying in this town for?
That remains to be seen. Initially, I intended to just pass through, but it's caught my interest.
I see, I see. Well, there is a festival tomorrow, and our latest act seems to have dropped out suddenly. Would you be interested in possibly entertaining or serenading our crowd?
I would be honored.
Oh, fantastic! And she pulls out like a few gold pieces and says, presume this deposit will be enough for you," and places, 4 gold pieces into your hand.
Oh, it is most generous. Um, I wonder if, in preparation for this performance, you might tell me a little more about the local flavor. Um, a little history, a little character. What sort of entertainment might spark the interest of such industrious people? I hadn't heard that, um, you know, this was such a bustling center of commerce and invention, even.
Well, it wasn't always, but it's people like us that bring in that kind of culture from without. It certainly hasn't blossomed from within.
Hmm.
This town has been infused with new purpose since the prospect of a port between two great cities, and she pulls out a map. Um, Between two great cities of Neverwinter and Waterdeep, uh, we've been looking for a way to cut past the mountains that block the route, and there's many sharp rocks here that require careful navigation without any place for our ships to refresh their crew. So Leilon was proposed to be that very place. But as you can see, Leilon is a fairly, shall we say, undeveloped town. So we thought for a price we'd help them out.
I see. So, due mostly to its advantageous location, it's about to become a hub of sorts.
Well, yes, that's the idea. And she kind of looks to you and says, "But it's not just mismanagement that gets this place in trouble."
Oh,
And she says, "Have you heard of anything going on in the ocean these days? Marauders,
I may have heard a
swells.
rumor or two.
Almost every excuse in the book is keeping these ships from arriving and departing, so we're still using that dreadful land route to get our wares back and forth. So We're just
Uh,
hoping this investment actually pays off.
non passes. So passe.
Well, if you ever find a place to settle in, let us know. We'd love to help get. We'd love to get your consult on how to build a good concert venue. And you seem well read. Is that true?
I certainly like to pick up a book every now and then.
Well, maybe you could help us educate the townsfolk. As far as I know, that orphanage is the only thing they have as far as a school.
Hmm.
And she kind of looks around and says, "Oh, I've just let the time pass by. I'm supposed to be settling a dispute between our dock workers and some shipwrights." And she kind of like turns away and says, "Well, I'll see you tomorrow," and walks away with a really like so much confidence. You can tell you know this is a real deal business person. She's been making big moves.
Okay, I want to find a dyed-in-the-wool local and start, preferably more than one, and start gathering some opinions on these kind of rich people rolling into town and doing whatever they want.
So as you are, you're still leaning on the door of this building, you start to hear commotion from the alleyway. And we will cut to, hold on one second. I'm just gonna reset this area for a moment.
I wonder what kind of shenanigans I've gotten Kizziar into.
I'm very excited to find out.
Oh, all the shenanigans are fun in D&D, aren't they?
Yes, good,
Mm.
safe, non-life threatening shenanigans, all in the pursuit of wealth made through most dubious means.
Um, all right, hold on one second. What am I missing here? Oh, duh, I need to set up this table way in advance. Hold on one second. All right. So Kizziar comes through the alleyway and he's looking around. It's a little dark. He can't quite see. But there is one. Hold on one second. I'll turn my camera back on here. He can't quite see, but there is one open door to a dark, ill lit. It looks like almost a hideout. You can't quite tell what it is. Um, it's a little more rusty than the other buildings. It's like the materials were snuck in, or you don't really even know what it is. It's not quite a shop. It's not quite a home. The door is open.
Okay, and as I'm approaching, am I hearing anything, any sounds coming out from the door?
Can you roll a let's see, an investigation check, please?
Okay. That's a 13.
All right. As you're walking towards this door, you can hear some sharpening of blades, and you hear some voices, sort of, tonight, go and get it. And they seem to be talking to each other. There's several people. There's just this constant shh.
Okay. Wanting to know a bit more about what's going on here, but being street savvy enough to know that you don't normally go barging into rusty, potentially abandoned shacks, potentially filled with not so friendly people, no matter how unsavory they might be in comparison to you. Yeah, we'll try to sneak towards the door and try to learn a bit more.
All right, I like it. Roll a stealth check for me, Kizziar.
All right, here we go. Ooh, that's a natural 20 for a
Oh,
27.
I love it. Like the shroud, he approaches the door. Even the wind is louder than Kizziar. And inside, hold on one moment. So, Abraham from AQS Gaming, my friend, these buildings are not just cool, they also have that removable roof, and it just makes it that much better. And inside, Kizziar can see three red cloaked men sharpening weapons and preparing themselves for what appears to be a sneak attack on something. And they have their armaments laid out, and one of them says to the other two, "We have to make it work tonight. You know that more of them are coming in tomorrow." And the one next to him says, "Yes, but how are we going to get all that gold?" And the third one says, "Well, I think we could just take it from them." And the first one says, "You fool, you can't just walk in and take it. We need a plan." And Kizziar can see through the window. Let me get this out of the way to get a cool window angle.
Okay.
He can see through the window that
These angles are great.
Yeah,
thanks. This is
very cinematic.
yeah.
Hmm.
Thank you. I'm ordering a document camera for one of the next ones because the hardest part about this, these are like webcams, so they just focus on what they want to. So I have to
Yeah.
keep like pulling them back and stuff. The document camera, you have a button on the top, but anyway, yeah, it's again like I know I'm just like plugging Etsy like crazy, but these people are just awesome. Like if you buy stuff on Amazon, no one's
Yeah.
gonna help you. Like no one's gonna
Hmm.
give you any advice. They're cool. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So Kizziar is looking through the window. No one can tell he's there, and they say, "Well, if the church is that well endowed, surely we can just go in and take it." And the large bandit says, "Well, that's what I suggested, but you all made fun of me." And the first one says, "Fine." And at the stroke of midnight, we go, we get the gold, and we get out.
Okay. And peeking further through the window, does it look like they're looking over a map or anything, or they're just simply, sharpening tools and kind of getting ready to?
Can you please roll an perception check?
Yes. That's a 12.
Okay, so you do see a map. You can see that the church has a steeple on it, and then behind the church, there's almost like a little structure that sits in front of a graveyard. And you can see that they've
Hmm.
drawn an X on that structure.
Okay.
And they say, well, that's the most fortified of the buildings, and there's clearly a good reason. And it's not in the middle of the church where everyone can see it. They're
Okay.
very savvy. These are very
Yeah.
savvy bandits.
Okay. And I mean, them all having these red hoods, is that indicative of them belonging to a group, or is it just kind of like they are just wearing red to wear red?
Um, while you're rolling a history check,
Mm.
uh, going back through the aisle, the alleyway, um, Caedil is calling out, you know, "Kiz, you there?"
Am I like seeing her kind of like come around the corner?
So
Like
you can definitely like hear her approaching, but you know they're not alerted. Like you're looking, and then you kind of like quickly whip around.
I'm just like, shh. Uh, I just like wave her over, hoping that she can be quiet. I did roll
Yeah.
a 12 on the history check as well.
I'll tiptoe over.
So roll a stealth check for me, please, Sadel, and then your history check.
Hmm.
You know that when bandits travel, they tend to choose a color to bring their party together. The bandits are often well masked; they are concealed. So, a lot of the bandit lords realize that they get their own crews confused. It causes more territorial disputes. But there are certain color codings to these bandits based on the level of their size, how organized they are.
Mm.
But your history check isn't quite high enough to know which of them they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what was your
Uh,
stealth check?
that's a 10.
So Sadel, poor Sadel. Sadel starts walking over and says, "What's going on over there, kids?" And and the bandits like, "What was that? Somebody go check."
Uh,
Okay.
I'm going to use yeah, I'm going to use thaumaturgy to um cause a the sound of footsteps um to um sound as though they're um pattering by quickly on the opposite side of this building. Like hopefully giving the impression that my loud talking was just, somebody jogging after their friend. Hey, wait up, wait for me.
And so you're talking about like past the hideout, like over here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So um, the sound of footsteps and you know, wait for me, call out, and one of these bandits looks out and he looks this way. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Just quietly back around the corner.
Roll another stealth check, please.
That one.
Sadal falls to the ground, clattering. Her lyre spills out. Bring, and the bandit turns around and you. And then the other two go, huh? And they and can you roll initiative, please, both of you?
Or by the way, do I happen to know uh based on the color of their cloaks whether these are baby bandits or big boys?
uh, yeah. Hold on one second. I will. Uh, let me just do. Yeah. Can you roll a? If you would roll a history check as well.
Okay, and that's 16 by the way for the initiative.
Excellent.
Ooh,
Yeah, I rolled a 9.
Okay. Okay. That's well. You both will be up first. Because these guys rolled
21.
terribly. What?
21 for history.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Hold on one second. Let me. So I've been trying to figure out how to do this properly. If you watched the prior to sessions, one of the things I try and do is put this camera up on like an arm, and it just
Mm,
sits up here and looks at the battle map. But
mhm.
I was wondering if you think we should try this, where I'll hold it up here and then kind of bring it in for the close-ups, or is that too shaky?
Uh,
Ah,
It's up to
I
you,
mean,
Phil.
yeah, I mean, I don't mind having the top down view.
yeah.
Although I can definitely see some of the like the cinematic uh, value in kind of getting down and close when
Mhm.
you're making attacks or people are interacting.
So
Yeah, so I don't mind trying a bit of a hybrid thing here.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, we'll try it, and if you're like this is terrible, like just tell me it's terrible. I'll
Hmm.
actually probably know it's bad in like a few seconds, so
Hmm.
don't worry. But I have wanted to try this, so
Yeah, worth a shot.
okay, okay. Let's set these up. Let's get all these NPCs out of the way. So Caedil, you will be up first, and you are to the far to the left of um, of Kiz. Let me put these guys here. Uh, the three bandits are okay. I'll zoom out here. So each of these squares is 5 feet, right? Um, you
Hmm.
both are in the alleyway. You are next to Kiz, but sort of apart because he was the one perched behind the building. Um, and off about 40 feet is the first bandit. The other two following him out of. Sorry, I put a roof here instead of a building. Out of the doorway.
Okay.
And I'll hold it up here.
So, with a 21 history check,
Oh,
baby
yes.
bandits are big boys.
So these are a member of a big boys group, but they are themselves two. There are three baby bandits. Let's put it that way. Baby
Okay.
bandits.
Uh, all right. In that case, Sadol's just going to give them a pitying look and say, "Oh, buddies, I really cannot recommend that you try and take us on, but if you insist, I'm not going to hold back, and I'm going to cast Fairy Fire."
All right.
Um, so that is, I'll just read it out here for you.
Thanks.
So the range is 60 feet. Each object in a 20-foot cube within range is outlined in blue, green, or violet light, your choice. We're going to go with purple. Um, any
Nice.
creature in the area when the spell is cast is also outlined in light if it fails a dexterity saving throw. For the duration, which is up to 1 minute, so 10 rounds, if I don't lose concentration.
Hmm.
Um, for the duration, objects and affected creatures shed dim light in a 10-foot radius. Any attack roll against an affected creature or object has advantage if the attacker can see it, and the affected creature or object can't benefit from being invisible.
I like it. I like it. So what is that saving throw that they need to roll?
Dexterity, and the um, DC would be 14.
So the first bandit here becomes. I don't have that color pen, but I will just. We're going to use green for the moment. Becomes illuminated and says, "Whoa, whoa, 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 what?" And sorry, on the successful saving throws, what happens to them? I missed that part.
Uh, it simply doesn't adhere to them. They manage to um, like move out, I guess, of the range of the attack or the effect of the spell before it can like stick.
Got it, got it. And does it do damage? What's the damage on it?
Nope, it's a debuff on them, and it just makes it easier for us to hit them.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, great. Kiz, it is your. Oh, sorry. Bonus actions.
Well, let's see. I got nothing
All right.
until somebody gets hurt. And then I wouldn't be able to use it right now because uh
Well,
that would be two leveled spells.
oh,
So
I
it
see.
has to be a cantrip and a spell with an actual level.
Gotcha. Just wanted to move this light out of the way and like totally mess this all up. Sorry. Okay. All right. Caedil causes one of the bandits to illuminate. He is totally just like does not understand why his body is emanating color. And Kizziar is up and he's looking kind of angry.
Yeah, not too happy about this. And you said that so our illuminated friend here is about 40 feet from us.
He is. So let me
Okay.
see. This is one of the
So
reasons why this top down thing gets a little messy because the focus.
Yeah, the
Um,
focus thing.
so 10, 20, he's actually 30 feet away from you. He's more
Okay,
like 40 away from Sadel because she's a little farther from you.
gotcha. Okay, well, I will kind of just get my running start at him. My short sword is drawn, and I'm just gonna go for a nice little kind of slashing cut from right around the ribs on up.
Excellent. Let's roll for it.
And I don't know if I have to do this before or I think it's when I hit. So I'll use my sneak attack for this turn since I have advantage on that attack with the fairy fire on him.
Right. Okay.
All right, but first I have to hit him. Does a 23 hit?
Yes.
All right, so we'll roll for initial damage, which is 6 with the sneak attack 1d6, adding 5 more for 11 damage total.
So describe for me how you want to assassinate this first bandit.
Uh, I imagine that even in his confusion, he's going to try to take a swing at me. So I'm just going to, parry it violently to the side, throw him off balance, and then kind of like tuck my sword back, you know, point directed right at him, and just kind of like shove the blade right up his armpit, and kind of just yank it out as I kind of push him to the side, while he kind of just crumples to the ground with that, you know, fatal wound bleeding out.
And he is now totally on the ground. He's glowing. His glow is sort of diminishing. And the other two bandits look at each other and they are like, well, do we keep fighting? Well, I don't know. And so this guy just starts charging up towards Kiz and goes to, he pulls out his scimitar and rolls a 20. Um, yeah, okay. All
That'll
right.
hit.
Uh, I also really want to make with this document camera a dice cam, so like you can
Mm,
actually see what I'm rolling. So it's not like
yeah.
oh stupid DM, he's making stuff up. Um,
Nah.
so so he just takes his scimitar and goes and does he's not very coordinated, so he just sort of nicks the top of your shoulder and does 2 slashing damage.
Ah, you fucking son of a bitch.
Now, the other bandit looks all the way over at Sadel, and let's see how far. That's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So he's technically within the shorter range, I guess. Um, Pulls out his light crossbow and 15. Does that hit?
yeah.
Okay. And pulls out his crossbow and says, "I can't believe you got Larry," and shoots and hits for 3 points of damage, piercing damage. And
3 points.
yeah,
Okay.
and now is back up to Sadel's turn.
Okay. Um, yeah, so that really fucking hurt, but Sadal is among many things, an actress, and she's going to try and play it off like, and kind of reaches out and says, "Something tells me you really have not earned the color of your hood. I think it's best if you just give this one up." And I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery.
On the further or the closer one?
Um, on the further one. Uh,
Excellent.
so yeah. Wisdom saving throw.
Well, that's not going to go great. All right. An
I
8.
had a feeling.
Yeah, that's definitely
Mm,
a fail.
cool, 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 cool. So that one psychic damage, but he has disadvantage on his next attack roll.
Wow. That was a great hit. So he kind of like looks down and he's hearing these voices and he's like, I'm tall enough. I can do this. What do you yeah." And so he's kind of like wrestling with his own demons. Meanwhile, back over here, it is now
Reiterate.
Kizziar's turn.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry, your bonus action. I always forget bonus actions. I'm sorry, guys.
Still got nothing.
All right. Just
Uh,
tune in the instruments.
yep, yep. Threateningly, very threatening instrument tuning.
Threatening instrument tuning. It's like a metal like pre-show death metal. Yeah.
All right, so kind of ready to get back at this guy that's kind of nicked me. It's not my first hit that I've taken in a fight, but it's always annoying when it's some lug nut that's coming at you like this, and they get the better of you. And I'm going to swing back.
Very nice.
That's a 19.
Definitely hits.
Okay, rolling for damage. That is 9 damage.
All right, you do a just severe cut through the both legs on this bandit, and he cries out, "Oh, Harry, I don't know if I can do this." And Harry cries back to him, "We have to do it for Gary. We have to do it for Gary." So it's like, all right. And he pulls out his scimitar with determination. He knows this is probably his last stand. And he rolls a nat one. And the and his legs are giving way and he goes, "Oh, we're gonna get you," and he just kind of swings forward and lands in the dirt. And now Jerry is looking over and he says, these insults. Oh, they're getting to me. And he goes to fire another shot, but with disadvantage. 17 and a 15. Oh my God. What the heck? Okay. So it's +3 on those. So I presume the 15 hits, or it goes to 18. All right.
Yeah, even without the modifier, 15 would hit.
I'm sorry.
I am but a simple, if magical, uh performer.
Jerry is a real asshole. He's just, the insults got to him. I am tall enough. I said I'm tall enough. And he puts the bolt in his light crossbow and just and pulls the trigger and does 7 piercing damage to the bard. It goes through the
Okay.
lute and she is feeling it.
hmm I really am.
It is now Caedil's turn.
I didn't even say anything about your height, dipshit. Okay. Um, and he's about how far away from me is he?
He's about 50 feet.
Okay. I'm going to walk towards him 30 feet, and I'm going to huck my dagger at him.
Okay.
Hey, okay, that's a 19.
Oh, definitely hits. Get him.
Oop. try that again. That's 6 damage.
Mm,
And
okay.
then with a healing word, everything is going to be all right. Once we take care of this riffraff, and I'm going to heal myself with healing word. Okay, up to 9.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. So, Kiz, you were there with Harry, bleeding at his knees, his thighs, his arm,
Mm-hmm.
fumbling in the dirt. Oh, I don't know what to do. And it is your turn.
All right, I'm going to put this man out of his misery with my short sword. Hopefully, does a 17 hit?
It does.
All right, we'll roll damage for ceremony's sake. That's 8 damage.
Tell me how you want to kill uh, Harry.
Seeing that he's kind of just like wobbling here or there, and Kizziar kind of just wants to get on to the next guy. He's just gonna, very casually just right across the throat, and then kind of just kick him back onto his ass beside his good friend. What was it, Larry?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Larry and
Mhm.
Harry are next to one another on the ground. It would be almost romantic if it wasn't so pathetic. Um,
I was gonna say, does Harry reach across and clasp hands with
yeah.
with his dying breath?
Goodbye, old friend. The other one is just like, don't talk to me. And now,
Pretending to be dead.
yeah. Yeah. I'm not quite dead yet. um, and now it is Jerry's turn. Jerry is pretty terrified, and he's kind of backing into a corner. He knows his time is coming, and he says, "Why? Why are you? Why are you doing this?"
Because you attacked us.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And then he pulls out his crossbow. And it's a 14. Does that hit our lovely bard?
Just barely.
All right. And you know, Jerry is just he's bleeding from his arms, and he pulls out this crossbow. He's just holding it up and pulls the trigger, and it does a bolt goes in and 4 damage, 4 piercing damage to Caedil. It's now Caedil's
Okay.
turn. Yeah.
Hmm. And so he's now still within 20 feet of me.
Um, he's just at 25.
Okay. Yeah. I'm done with this guy. I'm not even bothering to respond verbally to let him know how done I am. I'm just going to run up
Mm-hmm.
and attempt to skewer him with my rapier.
Nice.
Alas, uh, that's a 10.
10. So unfortunately, that does not hit.
Mhm.
Sadel is sprinting forward and pulls out this rapier, produces it, and he almost accidentally stumbles out of the way.
Mhm.
And do
Hold still.
you have any bonus action you'd like to take before we turn it over?
No, I'm just gonna give myself another healing word. Okay, that's a lot better.
Good, good. All right, Kiz.
Yes. All right. Well, Kiz will not be far behind Caedil and attempting to deliver the final blow, although this will be with his short sword. And let's see where we go with this. Ooh, that's a nat 1 for a 6.
All right. Well, um, Kiz is just excited. He's just excited to pull out his weaponry and just aha and slices open and realizes that he hasn't sliced into anything. He's killed two bandits and so he's just going for a three-peat and kind of just slashes into the air and Jerry's just back at what I don't
I'm
understand.
I'm picturing what's happening here is like we're advancing on him. We have probably scared the shit out of Guy, just killed two of his friends in front of him, and he keeps like slipping in the mud out of the range of our attacks
That
as
is
he's trying to scrabble away.
Yeah, that's not too far off. He is not doing great. He's just kind of muddy, and he pulls out his scimitar for one last shot. He decides to turn to Kiz because he knows now that there's no escaping. Um, he rolls a 15. Does that hit?
That does hit.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. What does he do? One. Okay. So he pulls out his scimitar. This one is for Harry, and he swings it up and does 5 slashing damage. and, and that's
uh,
why. I don't know why.
yeah, Kizziar is not laughing. He's just like, oh, fuck. I just got this damn thing washed.
And it is now Caedil's turn to continue berating and attacking this dying bandit.
Okay. 14.
That hits.
Okay.
Is that one of those critical role pouches or?
No.
Oh,
Um, I want one of those. But that's 7
7 damage.
points of damage. Yeah.
With what weapon was that again?
That's my rapier.
Can you please describe for me how you kill Jerry, put him out of his misery?
So he's stumbling back in the mud, and I walk over and I just kick his foot out from under him, send him sprawling to the ground, lift the rapier and jam it downwards through his heart.
Oh God, no, no! Ah! And you just skewer him. It's pretty gruesome. Kiz just kind of backs up a little bit in awe. He's proud of you, and he's also just surprised that such a small bard, this purple little creature he thought was so gentle, just stabbed a man in the heart to death. But anyway, they both recover pretty quickly. They are standing outside of the door to these bandits' hideout, and they hear a bell going ding, 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 and they know it's 3 p.m.
You know,
Okay.
didn't think you had it in you, but wow, that was pretty brutal.
Well,
Congrats.
you don't know me that well.
No, I think I might like to know you a bit better.
I suppose you
Maybe
better stay on my good side then.
the feeling's mutual. He like offers her a little wink as he heads into the former bandit's hideout.
Yeah, I'm gonna start rifling through pockets.
Excellent. Okay, so Sadil's gonna rifle through pockets. She finds one bandit has 5 gold on him. Another bandit has a, a a crossbow, which is you can add this to your inventory. It's a +2 crossbow.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
real nice.
yeah, and the other one is just got nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, initially, as Kizziar is rifling through papers and looking at just weapons that are lying around, he notices that they were working on a scimitar of their own. And this scimitar is almost complete. It is a +1 scimitar.
Okay.
But he knows that if he has a little time to bring it to a blacksmith or an engineer of some kind. Oh, sorry, guys, this one's not fixing quite right. Okay. Or an engineer of some kind and maybe leave it there for a while. Maybe they can do more with it.
Okay.
So is that a hand crossbow, a light crossbow? Hopefully not heavy.
It is a light crossbow.
Okay.
So Kizziar also sees a map.
Hmm.
And let me just pull this up again. He sees a map of Leilon. But what's weird about this map as he examines it more closely is that the buildings look devastated. The tower that is standing above Leilon, they just were walking around, they saw it. Standing tall. In this map, it's crumbled and is destroyed. And to the north of town, where the church lies, and the cemetery is located, is also completely demolished. The roof is falling in. This map looks way more detailed than it should be for a bandit map, and it's right here that they've circled. And then there's a map that gets closer in the uh, on the church and cemetery, and it's going to take me a second to set this up. But in any event, I can describe it for you, um,
Mhm.
and I think that we will we'll be probably better off doing that. The um, the church in this town has a long structure for the main um, the center of prayer. It has a steeple. Behind there, the church is about 200-ish feet long. It's fairly big for this size of town. Um, and towards the back of the church, 50 yards past that, is a is a building that they have marked with a big red circle. And then beyond that are rows of fences with spikes coming up through them. And there are crypts and graves, but they're not in much detail. It's sort of almost like a legend of what a graveyard should look like. But you can see the actual length of the graveyard is 100 feet back from there.
Hmm.
Oh, I should have drawn it. I can draw on this map. Of course, it occurs to me now. There we go. And there it is. Remind
Uh,
me that I do have pens and a whiteboard. Okay, so that's the cathedral, or that's the chapel. And then there's
mhm.
this building right next to the graveyard, and they've circled this big red circle.
Okay.
Hmm. All right.
Okay.
And yeah.
So kind of based on general knowledge of like church layouts, not that Kizziar goes to church, but I'm sure he's seen them in his travels. Would he have a general idea on like what this separate building might be? Does it seem like that might be normal with other churches in the area?
Would you roll a religion check for me?
Sure. I have okay, yeah. I have a +3 on that. That's funny. Not that it helps. I got an 8.
You know, Kizziar remembers that churches are places with like a bowl of water sometimes, and they have cookies, and I don't know, like he doesn't know that much else, but he knows that there are dead people behind it.
There's one guy that stands up front and talks a lot, and it's really
Oh
boring.
shit. Yeah, yeah.
And then he asks people to give him money, and they give him the money. Oh, it's so weird.
So the circled box must be where he puts all the money.
Yeah. Well, they certainly had an idea. It's a shame that they were, well, I guess dumb as a bag of nails. Well, I don't think this is connected to your monk friend and his concerns on things in the night. It
Probably not.
is an odd coincidence though that they were trying to make a move tonight.
Yeah.
Before you showed up and made a abundance of noise, they were talking about how tonight would be their last night to, I guess, steal whatever they believed was in that building. Because
Hmm.
more people were showing up, I believe,
Hmm.
if I'm
Maybe.
remembering that correct.
Maybe they were trying to pull off a little heist before more of their gang arrived to try and impress them. Who knows? By the way, as he like exits the building to come and like show me the map and talk to me, I let him see me like take the 5 gold out of the one guy's pocket and take two and put in my pouch, and then I hand him the other three.
Ah, well, that's very thoughtful.
Thanks. I appreciate your discretion. He just kind of pockets it into his pouch. Happy to have a bit more money for the day.
Money always helps.
So the two adventurers are ready to leave this alleyway, figure out what is going on, and they realize that they still have quite a bit of time before midnight.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know what their plan is, but I was thinking that we could continue this in a second session if you
Hmm.
are both willing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
happen to be free next Saturday. It's not normal that I am, but here we are. If it works for you both, I'm down.
yeah. It definitely works for me as of right now.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Sounds great.
Very cool. Well, and your as for experience points, you gained a whopping 75 experience points. So, you
Nice.
know, it's a start. It's a start.
We're
Um,
getting there.
yeah. You should have seen the destruction that I rained down upon Thursday's party. My God, I threw a pirate captain in there.
Ooh,
That was a little OP, I think.
Mm,
sounds spicy.
it
Yeah,
does.
yeah. I feel like we had like a bard rogue combo. So if I had like loaded more bandits in here, it might have been a problem. But we'll
You know.
see. We'll push the limits. We'll push the limits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, listen, this was a great session. I really enjoyed playing with you both. That was really
Fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's very cool.
yeah, yeah. And again, thank you guys as always for tuning in. I see we still have a whopping one viewer who probably cares very deeply about all these lovely promos. Remember to go back to the beginning of our show and take a look. All of these folks make this show possible. They're awesome. They're cool on Etsy. They're cool in real life. Although I have yet to meet them in real life. And we got to get someone in dice jail. How does that even work? I've never done that before.
Basically, when one of your dice is misbehaving just absolutely terribly, you've um you've rolled below 10 the last 6 times you've rolled and you're getting sick of it. You put that die in dice jail as a lesson to the other dice, and then you start rolling a different one.
That's amazing. This is one that I also picked up just for a friend of mine who plays with us. He actually played on. He's going to play Wednesday again as a character named Million Knives. He's a
Mm.
literally strapped to the teeth with so many knives that his stealth checks are like almost at disadvantage. But I got him these dice, and when you roll a one, you just fuck.
Fuck.
And so dice jail. There you
Nice.
go. Awesome.
Amazing.
All right.
Perfect.
Caedil, Kizziar.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Awesome. We'll see you there.
Can't wait.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Till
Bye.
next time.